All right, guys. Thank you for joining me tonight. Appreciate it. Again, thank you for joining me again. Appreciate it. All right. Let's get the 5 by 5s out of the way. All right. So, jeez, I hate when this thing switches up. Arish, thank you for the 5 by 5. Dan, Flown Grown, Renee, thank you for 5 by 5. Trapper Bob, Let's Go, Dobie, Base, Groundhog, Krista, thank you for 5 by 5. Ozark, Highlander, Patty, thank you for the 5 by 5. Prep to Adapt, Prepper Revelator, what's going on? Trail Name, thank you for the 5 by 5. Water Tiger, Trish, Stan, Buffalo, Betty, Truth, thank you for the 5 by 5. Watchman, Mary, Jane, thank you for the 5 by 5. William, thank you for the 5 by 5. Crow, Raphael, another friend, Furious, thank you for the 5 by 5 or 2 by 4. Miss Nancy, thank you for the 5 by 5. Appreciate it. And, oh, it's working. All right. Jim, thank you for the 5 by 5. BH, thank you for the 5 by 5. F you all, thank you for the 5 by 5. Eric, thank you for the 5 by 5. And Prep to Adapt, thank you for the 5 by 5 on Rumble. Occurs, Jet, Jerry, thank you for the 5 by 5. Hudson Valley, what's going on? All right. So, this study, guys, this is a very interesting study, if you will. And this study was out of South Korea. It was published in September. No one talked about it. Nobody. So that was a big red flag, or rather a green flag, because that means the findings on this was pretty high. Now, there's a lot of medical jargon in here, so I'm going to translate it to, us, the stupids. I'm going to translate it as best as I can. Basically, in a nutshell, guys, they're saying that what we all knew, what we all been speculating, what we have all heard that was going to happen from certain doctors who were protesting against this arm ticket. Now, the the oncogenics, potential of the Mr. 19 juice has been hypothetically proposed, but real-world data on the Mr. 19 infection and the juice were insufficient. Therefore, a large-scale population-based retrospective study in Seoul, South Korea, aimed to estimate the cumulative incidences and subsequent risk of overall Mr. C 1 year after taking the Mr. 19 arm ticket. The study was done with 8.4 million individuals between the years of 2021 and 2023. They were obtained from the Korean National Health Insurance status. The risk of overall Mr. C's were assessed using multiple variable Cox proportional hazard model, and data were expressed as hazard ratios and 95% confidence intervals. All right, so confidence intervals, from what I looked up, confident interval is a range of values used in statistics to estimate an unknown parameter, like a population mean. It provides a range within a true value is expected to fall based on a specific confidence level, such as 95% being the highest level. All right. That being said, let's see. The arm ticket, if we will, caused a 95% confidence interval of 95% for thyroid, gastric, colorectal, lung, breast, and prostate Mr. C's. That was significantly increased at a 1 year post arm ticket. In terms of other arm tickets, cDNA arm tickets were associated with the same risk of thyroid, gastro, colorectal, lung, and prostate. The other one, the bad arm tickets, also had the same increased risk of thyroid, lung, breast, colorectal. And then, and all right, so that in a nutshell, guys, tells us told us that there was an increase. Now, interestingly enough, when we started seeing an increase in Mr. C's here in the United States alone, forget about the rest of the world, here in the United States or the rest alone, we all started speculating. Those of us who didn't take the arm ticket started speculating that it was that poison that caused people to get sick. When you brought up that theory at the time, when you brought up that theory, people were telling you you're wrong. They were saying it was in the water, it's in the air, it's the food, it's the microplastics, it's all this other shit that they were telling us it was. But I'm like, so you mean to tell me that the microplastics that have been in our water for years, the bad food we've been eating for decades, the bad air we've been sucking in for decades, and the water we've been drinking for decades, all of a sudden in a 5-year period, caused everybody to get these clusters of problems within the last 5 years. Even though something was introduced to us within the last 5 years, but they were like, no, it could be completely wrong. I've never seen more stupidity. And listen, I don't think it was stupidity, I think it was fear. Dan on the, I don't know what the hell that line's Dan. Jason, you on the list, use a smock blackie. Oh, he's trying to talk black. Okay, you saying anything. Thank you for the donation. So, if you were trying to speak Negro, it came out horribly wrong. And it sucked. You try harder. But thank you for your donation. So, guys, again, they're probably going to get in trouble for saying this. But here we go. The FDNY, I said this before, the members of the FDNY are starting to now wake up and question whether or not it was the thing we all took 5 years ago, or they all took 5 years ago. Those of us that are still purebloods don't have anything to worry about. But those who took it, that thing that we didn't need, they're now getting worried because we are running into a lot of guys my age, a little younger, a little older, having heart attacks. There were, if I'm not mistaken, 3 to 4 guys within the last 3 months that suffered a heart attack on the job. One guy, if I'm not mistaken, passed away at home after going to a job. We're watching more and more people come down with Mr. C's in the fire department. A lot of people coming down with it. NYPD seeing the same numbers as well. People, the cowards, if you will, the scared, the oh my God, it's not the thing we didn't need to take. It's all of the other stuff around us. I'm like, well, guess what, fucko? Police officers are not running into burning buildings. Police officers are not wearing bunker gear. Though our bunker gear has a chemical that can soak into our skin and cause cancer, police officers are going through the same shit right now. They are suffering Mr. C's. Only one thing that was introduced to all of us at the same time. I heard the same thing with EMS, and I heard the same thing with corrections and sanitation. And yes, furious. People are suddenly dying. There's also that. So, guys, all of that to say, you know what? I'm going to put the study in the chat so you guys can read this for yourself. You guys can look at it for yourself and enjoy. All right, Dano, thank you again for the donation. I appreciate it. Your workmates who were going to stay strong, right? Yeah, Betty, that was it. A lot of the guys who were like, we're not taking it. Now a lot of them are scared. They're like, yo, you mean to tell me? I'm like, yeah. I said, and the crazy shit is, I bring up, I said, dude, we got into arguments over this shit in the firehouse, over this shit about it not being a good thing to take. I said, don't take it, and I told them why. I said, this lady who's a doctor, she said, don't take it. This is her wheelhouse, man. I said, you want people to listen to us about how to not start fires and how to get out of a bad situation, right? And, some guys were like, yeah, all right then. Why wouldn't you listen to the doctor whose wheelhouse it is? And she said that not to take it. Dr. McCullough was another one. Don't take it. It's not good for you. Here's why. Nobody wanted to listen to them. But I needed my job. Well, now you're going to need a new fucking heart. How about that? You know? Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what I'm saying without saying it, Thomas. People like, I need my job. I'm like, well, your kids are going to need a new place to bury you as well. I said, you guys took this because you needed a job. Now you go into the ground, and now you're fucking, your kids are running around without a parent. Again, man, people don't want to listen, and I'm the crazy dude. And now certain guys are like, yo, what do you think about this? And for the spike this and that. I'm like, you can try it. I don't know if it's going to make a difference. This shit, guys, all of those pills out there that had that fight the spike off or spike this, and this stuff changed people's cells at a genetic level. You cannot undo that. You can't. People like, oh, well, what if I take this, it'll help against the spike protein, and then I'll be fine. You had genetic changes in your body that you cannot undo. You can't. In a nutshell, my friend, you're toast. Now, will everybody get sick from this and pass away? No, absolutely not. But a lot of people are going to get sick. A lot of people might be able to fight it off. I don't think it's going to be a case for many. Some will. Those guys who don't have kids and, both parents are gone, leave your money to me. I'll bury you in a good spot and give you a good headstone and spend the rest of your money on cameras and shit. I don't know what to tell you. And that's the other thing. Thank you for bringing that up, Sarita. Remember when those people were telling us if we didn't take this, we deserve to die? That we should be thrown in jail, lose our jobs? We shouldn't get to enjoy the outer lives of movie theater and restaurant goer? Remember that shit? No. Southern Cat Lady. I went to a fire, but I wasn't inside. And that was this morning. It's just like the tail end of that cough that gets to me. I'm going to drink a bunch of tea tonight, and hopefully I'll whatever. Just remember that. Those people were like, those people, they're losers. They should, they're idiots. They should have taken it, man. Okay. If you have a cold or something to spike your antibodies, those spike proteins will be bound up together and cause clumping. All right, I guess. Just remember that, man. And so now, I hate to say it, we have the last laugh. One guy was like, man, you better not get cancer. I said, if I get cancer, it's from 9/11. It's from that shit. And then the look on his face was like, oh, shit. Yeah, that's right, oh, shit. If I get anything, it's because of that. I'm trying my best here. Not to get it, but it is what it is. On ticket regret. Yes. On ticket regret. There were a lot of people who took it and they didn't want to, but then they should have stood their ground a little harder. That's what it came down to. I have some sympathy for some of these people because, these guys are my friends. I worked with them, so it's a little different. But Everybody else who was motherfuckering us, they were like, you fucking pieces of shit. You didn't want to take it. You want other people to die. I'm like, but that's not how it works. That is not how an arm ticket works. You know? And they were like, you should lose your job. You should get divorced. Listen, there were divorces over this, guys. Families were torn apart because one person in the family didn't want to take the arm ticket. Imagine that. Imagine divorcing your wife or your husband because they didn't want to take something that they did not need. And subsequently, some of those people got sick. And now they're probably laying in their deathbed. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have doubted you. Yo, I'm going to marry a hotter chick than you. Bye. And then you leave, walk out of the door. All right, maybe don't be that cruel. I'm just saying, like, that it's insane, man. It's insane. Betty, good, man. That's what we were supposed to do. You know? Groundhog, do I have my own dark room? No, but I could turn my bathroom into a dark room, which I was planning to do. I have a half bath, so I can turn that into a dark room. Have I heard of Tim Brown? I want to say yes, but no. Refresh my memory. Yeah, listen. I mean, it's just wild, man. When you tell people, like, "Yo, don't do this," I mean, for example, I have the fitness channel, right? I got to put some videos up this week. Or next week, rather. Sorry. I have the fitness channel, right? And the point of that channel is just to throw some workout ideas out there and hopefully people catch on. But when people ask me, well, what am I doing? Why am I not losing weight? I tell people numerous times why they're not losing weight. This is what you're doing wrong. And people are like, yeah, but there's no yeah buts. You're not walking twice a day. You're not walking 3 times a day. You're not extending your walks. You're not making it harder. This is all you have to do to stay in a decent shape. People don't want to listen. People are like, what if I start lifting weights again? No, don't do that. Go back to walking, push-ups, body weight shit, and then somebody jumps back under a bar and they start fucking ego lifting because when they were 25 years old, they were able to lift 425, deadlift. Then they get back under the bar at 525 for a squat. I remember when I was 18, I used to squat. Meanwhile, they're 57 years old now. And they feel good. They get back under 525 and their spinal cord collapses like origami because they were ego lifting. This is why I understand now at my age, I do not ego lift. All right? And people don't listen. So I listen, with the fitness channel, I throw my ideologies out there. Either work out or don't. There are certain people that ask me, oh, what do you think about this? Don't ask me for my opinion because you don't listen anyway. I just shut them down. Well, Yardbird, you could stuff food in your mouth. You have to go about it a certain way. You got to eat certain foods at a certain time, and all you have to do after every meal is go for a walk or a workout. After each meal, you will drop the weight. Period. Dan, thank you for the donation again. Appreciate it. But but anyway, with that being said, guys, people don't want to listen. They're gonna do their own thing. The next arm ticket's gonna come out, and people are gonna take that. They're gonna get scared. They're gonna be, oh my God, Ebola. It's making. Listen, you tell a group of dudes that you're gonna lose your dick because Ebola, they're gonna take that vaccine. I guarantee it. You get used to after what? I worked out, fasted. Right, and so, well, not after the 2 weeks. It's anywhere between 2 to 3 weeks, up to 4 weeks. Your body adapts to it, and then you change it up again. Keep your body guessing. That's the basics of it. Again, if you just want to stay healthy, all you got to do is walk and work out, man. Easy shit. And the people that I tell just to walk, I'm not asking them to do burpees and lift weights and throw shit around, start screaming and yelling. Just go for a walk. Walking is going to keep you fit. Walking is going to keep you healthy. Walking is also good for your brain. There's a multitude of reasons why you should go for a walk, especially after each meal. You'll be all right. Angry Truth 9/11 firefighter Tim Brown. I'll look him up, but I don't recall that name. 67 years old and can still press 225. Not bad. 350. Oh, 400 on the deadlifts. Not bad. Yeah, one of the guys challenged me at the firehouse. He had like 425 on the deadlift. He was like, I bet you can't. And I got it up. And then I walked away and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. I'm going to fucking die. It was one of the younger guys that always challenging me. One of the younger guys. This was like a year or two ago. I was like, holy shit, I think I pulled my back muscle. I was ready to lay on the floor, but I couldn't do it in front of him. I had to walk to the back of the firehouse and sit in the chair and just stare at the window at my life choices. Like, why did I do that? I would do it again just to shut him up, though. But, yeah. That wouldn't be a bad idea. If you guys are following the fitness, if you guys are following the Angry Prepper Fitness and you're losing weight, maybe before and after pictures of doing what you've been doing on my channel, that would help. That would probably get the channel some growth. But again, I don't want to be anybody's coach. You know, I am going to take a kettlebell coaching course so that when I start doing it on the channel, I'm doing everything correctly, correct terminology. I have a certification, the whole 9 yards. But I really don't want to be anybody's coach. You know, unless I'm charging like, you know, 200 a month or 300 a month, or I'm doing celebrity coaching and I'm charging them like $1,000 a month, maybe then. But yeah, if you guys want to do that, you could, and you don't have to fucking, you know, strip down to nothing. Shorts and a tank top is fine, you know. But yeah. Anyway, with that, guys, I'm gonna go off the air. I'm done. I'm going to go, not lay down, but I'm going to make some more tea like an old man. Possibly eat some, you know, shortbread cookies like an old bitch. And then watch some TV and go to bed. So I will see you guys Tuesday for the doubleheader. Thank you for joining me. Again, if it's with a boring Saturday night, I might do another live stream Saturday night. I might. If not, I will see you guys next Tuesday for the doubleheader. I appreciate it as always. Appreciate the donation. And I'll see you guys on the... next week. Thank you.